Hey there, Jets Nation. Welcome back to One Jets Pod. Whether you're tuning into our video content or joining us on our audio-only platforms, we've got you covered. If you're enjoying what you hear or see, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't just gently tap, but smash that bell icon to stay notified whenever we drop new content. Also, we love comments and 5-star ratings. Thanks again, Jets fans. Now together, let's fuel the green and white passion. Let's go, Jets.
Welcome to Jet Life Stadium. Hit it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Randy with the One Jets Pod. I hope everybody's having a great week. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I know the Jet fans are still having a little bit hard, but tonight I am joined by both of my co-hosts, Brandon Batts and Dominic Lorenz. Brandon, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. I'm excited to get to talking some sports with you guys tonight. So let's get it rolling.
Dominic, my brother, how are you?
Doing well. Another week of positive living for football, and good to have Brandon back. I know he was out last week, but man, it feels good to have the trio of us back together for another week.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all holding it down for me last week. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Very much missed, my brother. We're glad you're back.
We do our best.
All right. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, if you're listening on the audio side of things, make sure to follow us and give us a 5-star. We greatly appreciate it. Also, I wanted to plug this off season. We are holding our first annual award show. It's the Champagne Magic Award Show in honor of Dominic over here. Thank you for naming our annual award show going forward.
Hey, when every week you have champagne problems, then I guess that just has to be the title of the show now. Maybe it'll bring some luck and maybe foreshadowing the future for the Jets.
Absolutely. So we're very much looking forward to that. I know I am. We haven't got, I think I got the categories all nailed out. But once I get those finalized, I'll definitely let all the fans know. So we haven't got a date set for it just yet, but just be on the lookout for the Champagne Magic Award Show here on the One Jets Pod. All right, moving into Week 13. Real quick, I'm going to rattle off these scores. Thursday night, we had Seattle versus Dallas. Dallas beats them 41-35. Moving on to Sunday, the Chargers barely beat New England 6-0. Atlanta beats the Jets 13-8. Indianapolis beats Tennessee 31-28. Houston beats Denver 22-17. The Rams beat the Brownies 36-19. Detroit smashes on New Orleans 33-28. Arizona upsets Pittsburgh 24-10. Miami just kills the Commies 45-15. Carolina gets their butts whooped by Tampa Bay 21-18. And the 49ers kick some ass by smashing on Philadelphia. Dominic's 49ers 42-19, faithful to the Bay, as Dominic always says. And then on Monday night, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cincinnati Bengals, who were upset by the Bengals 34-31. All right.
Isn't it funny that both of our teams are the only teams that have beaten the Eagles?
Yeah, everybody, fist bump.
Every little fist bump coming on.
Come on, bring it in. Woo!
We got that. Randy and I discussed that on the Around the League kind of push to the playoff show. Who would have thought coming into this would be the common denominator for the Niners fans and the Jets fans here in 2023. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way. So far, through 13 weeks, it's the Jets and the Niners that are standing between the Eagles looking perfect.
Absolutely.
And that is the only similarity we have with the 49ers.
That's pretty much it. Other than we have a coach or whatever they used to play for him, or they used to coach for him.
Yeah.
But moving on, we're going to talk about our weekly predictions here, our weekly prediction standings. Dominic, for the third week in a row, going 9-4, taking home the weekly winner platinum chain. He now advances onto the season 121-72. Brandon going 9-4 as well for the week, only losing due to tiebreaker points. Keeps his spot in second place and advances to 120-73. And I didn't do too bad this week, considering it was 13 games. I go 8-5, continue my third place dominance, and I advance to 108-85.
Yeah, you definitely dominant in that spot, bro.
Oh, dude. I own.
Hey, third place is nothing to be ashamed of. Just don't tell anybody how many total people are in the standings.
There you go.
It's all right. Yep. It don't matter. It's fine.
Now I gotta ask, were there any games that surprised you guys this weekend?
I don't know. Brandon, what do you think?
I'll be honest, the Cardinals game kind of surprised me. I didn't think the way the Steelers were rolling, I didn't think that.
I bet you that made you feel good, though. Not only, you didn't get the win, but Steelers, they stopped winning.
Right, I do appreciate that. But yeah, so that kind of surprised me a little bit. The way, like I said, the way they were rolling. Yeah. That moribund offense showed up again, and it kind of felt, good that we weren't the only bad offense. But the Steelers have been winning in spite of their quarterback.
Yep, they have.
And it's kind of catching up to them a little bit. And I think their quarterback got hurt too. So
yep, yeah.
So that one kind of surprised me. There was another one that kind of surprised me too. I can't. What was the? Wasn't there quite a few upsets this weekend?
Let's see here.
I don't know if you consider. Well, I think Packers over Chiefs is an upset.
Yeah,
on Sunday night.
I would call
that.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
Sunday night football.
I don't think anybody expected the Packers to.
Well,
as well as they've been playing too.
Yeah.
Well, I put in the group chat. I said, "Oh, Taylor Swift's there. Kelsey's going to go off," and it was the complete opposite. Green Bay's coming around at the right time. For me personally, I know Randy probably won't like this one. Would you consider Cincinnati over Jacksonville an upset? Because
slight.
Joe Burrow goes out.
Yep.
Jake Browning looked like a very good quarterback, over 300 yards, multiple touchdowns, couple on the ground, couple in the air. Cincinnati's a little resilient, and I know Randy and I talked about this in the Around the League show that came out on Monday. At that time when we recorded on Sunday night, Cincinnati hadn't played yet. There were 3 teams that were sitting at 6-6 on the fringe of the playoffs, out of 14 of the mix that are just one game out of the playoffs. So the bottom of the AFC playoff picture is completely open. It's open season at that point. And Cincinnati, they've made it deep in the playoffs. They've made it to the Super Bowl. I know they don't have Joe Burrow, but maybe there's some resiliency left out there in the jungle.
I tell you, man, I wish I knew what it felt like to have a capable backup. Jake Browning coming in there looking like a starter. 1/3 of the league is made up of backup QBs right now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it's just it's mind-boggling to just see that the Jets are really the only team where the backup can't hack it. Pun intended.
I was gonna say,
I'm like, puns intended, right? Like, you can't throw that out there for nothing.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that Kansas City game definitely surprised me. While I'm not surprised that the Niners won, I am surprised at that score. I thought it was gonna be a lot closer than that.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Chargers didn't spank the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. Although the Patriots, they've been holding
the defense is good.
Yeah, they've been holding the team like under 17 points the last 3 or 4 weeks, but their offense sucks.
I know, and that's
one offense is worse than ours.
Hey, I may be foreshadowing the future, but what a Thursday night matchup, Patriots and Steelers. Like,
oh yeah,
my love of football will be reinvigorated in 48 hours.
What do you call it? A barn burner.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? You know what's funny though about that the Patriots is that Mac Jones has been benched. How many times? Played, benched, played, benched.
Yep. Seems like
But,
every week.
Nobody talks about it.
No.
But you look at Zach Wilson. It's just, and I know it's because he's in the biggest media market in the world, right? But it's just like, man, Mac Jones has been benched probably more than Zach Wilson has.
Yeah.
Started, but nobody says anything.
Yep.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think there's any specific reason to that other than the fact that, they're in the biggest media market in the world, or do you think it's more to it?
Yeah, I think it's because it's in New York and they got the luxury of playing in New England and Bill Belichick, and they try not to step on their toes too much over there.
I think it's one of those situations where Zach Wilson was touted very highly when he was drafted number 2 overall.
Yeah.
Mac Jones was, even though he was taken lower in the draft by New England, who stole him at that point. Maybe that's a difference maker at the end of the day. And I think because with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt 4 points into the season and Zach Wilson became relevant again because of that injury, a lot of people thought, well, he's been the starter before. He should be able to take the reins again and get back in it and keep the Jets season alive. Mac Jones is the guy in New England. It wasn't like they had drafted him and Tom Brady was still playing in New England and Tom Brady goes down and Mac Jones has to fill in. I think because there's nothing comparable to Mac Jones in New England right now, I think maybe that's why it's not as blown up into smithereens in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows the Patriots suck.
Oh, yeah.
And I think even if they had a competent quarterback, I don't think they would still be playoff caliber. Their receiving core is not great. It's pretty much the Ramondre Stevenson show until he got hurt. That defense is still very good. I know they lost a couple of pieces early on in the season, but I think there was more hopes and more aspirations for this Jets squad than there was the Patriots. And everybody gives a hall pass because it's Bill Belichick. So I think there's just, I don't want to say you're comparing apples to oranges, but there is some nuances that changes the conversation. But I do agree. I think the New York market is different than the New England, Boston market in comparison to the media.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Especially in contrast of where each individual was drafted. I mean, you're second overall. I mean, and it's not, and I say this a lot. It's not like the Jets were the only ones, drooling over Zach Wilson because had I mean, let's be real. Had we not taken him, Mr. Faithful over to the Bay over there, his team was. I mean, they wanted him. They wanted him. I mean, they were going to trade up regardless, and Zach was their guy. So if the Jets didn't pick him, San Francisco would have ended up taking him, and we probably would have ended up with like Justin Fields or Trey Lance, probably if we didn't go that route.
At the end of the day, back in the day when that whole quarterback draft class, where it was a quarterback-driven draft,
Yep.
The Niners were talking about Mac Jones being their quarterback. Kyle Shanahan really liked him because he resembled a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo at the time. Not the fleetest of foot, but he ran an offensive system.
I mean, he was one of the guys I wanted to draft, to be honest with you. I didn't want Zach originally.
No, and Trey Lance was kind of an afterthought. I didn't have too much faith in Trey Lance from the beginning, just because if you look at all the other quarterbacks that were taken in that draft, including Zach Wilson, all of them had college experience. Trey Lance was a one-year starter at North Dakota State. That was it. So there wasn't much proven ability with Trey Lance. It was going to take time to mature that arm and that playmaking ability and reading the book. And with how consistently confusing and dynamic this 49ers offense is with Kyle Shanahan at the helm and play calling, I don't think there was any way, shape, or form Trey Lance, even 5 years down the line, was going to pick up this 49er offense. You needed somebody who was going to be a proven college quarterback, Brock Purdy, 4 years at Iowa State, that knew the system and could pick it up faster. The Niners could not take a first-round quarterback project. Honestly, I don't think Zach Wilson would have picked up this 49ers offense either. And that's not against Zach Wilson. I just think looking at it now,
I mean, he kind of had it when LaFleur was here, and he had trouble with it.
Exactly. Like, if you look at the rest of the quarterbacks, I don't know if Mac Jones picks it up. Maybe. Justin Fields, He has more running ability, so maybe the playbook would have changed a little bit.
I'll give Mac Jones the edge just because he came out of Alabama.
Maybe that could be the case. Because
yeah.
No. Yeah, you could see it's a different. Again,
I mean, he's a smart kid. He just sucks.
Honestly, I would love to see if Mac
Same thing with Zach. I mean, I wouldn't call him smart.
Okay, here's a fun question because it relates to the Jets division.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the roles are reversed. Zach Wilson's in New England, Mac Jones with the Jets. How does the Jets season go this year once Rodgers goes down if Mac Jones was the backup turned QB1? I know it's, again, apples and oranges because it's completely different.
I think they both suck.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I think we'd be in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
Same boat.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation. I know the year after the draft class comes out, everybody says, okay, let's redraft the previous year to see who did great and who did. It's like now that you look at because it was, like I said, a quarterback heavy draft, I wonder how that draft specifically changes because of the quarterbacks that were involved, that were up high in that first round. I don't think now if that draft gets redone right now, Zach Wilson's not taken in the first round, Mac Jones isn't taken in the first round, probably Trey Lance isn't taken, 3 quarterbacks off the board. How does that change things? And what other pieces, non-quarterback pieces, are adjusted to the Jets, to the pay? It's always it's a good what if.
That's a good point, Don, because I mean they were just I know they were talking about that the other day. If you were to redraft, really the only guy that, and he's not lights out, but you can say he's a good quarterback. It's Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Like he's a good quarterback. I'd take him in a heartbeat. Obviously on our team, we almost had him, but we just had to win that extra game. Randy, you know how that goes, Randy.
But if you look just at the top 10, and I know we could go deeper and spend like one episode just talking about this draft because it was so important, not just to the Jets but to everybody else. Here are the 10, and how could it change? Lawrence at 1 to the Jacksonville, Zach Wilson to the Jets, Trey Lance to the Niners, Kyle Pitts to the Falcons, Jamar Chase, number 5 to the Bengals, Jalen Waddle to the Dolphins, Penny Sewell to the Lions, J.C. Horn Panthers, Patrick Surtain Broncos, and Devontae Smith Eagles, with Justin Fields at number 11 and Micah Parsons at 12. So there's your top 12. Wipe off Wilson, wipe off Lance. Kyle Pitts has not had a great career this far. At that point, if you keep the same order, welcome the number 2 overall pick, Jamar Chase, to the New York Jets. How does that change things in a certain scenario?
Could you imagine Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson?
I mean, would we still be in a position to draft Garrett Wilson, though? Like, how much of that would have changed?
I wonder if Sam Darnold.
We would have to get it because we would have had to get some type of quarterback, right?
Yep.
I wonder if we would have kept Sam Darnold.
There's maybe you pick up a quarterback later in the draft, because again, I know after Mac Jones was taken, there was a steep difference between the very next quarterback taken, which, as I'm scrolling through the second round right now, I don't think it happened until I think the 4th round. It was one of those drafts where there was a distinctive gap, and I think the next quarterback was I thought the last pick of the second round, Kyle Trask, who went to Tampa Bay. So
that was bad. That was a bad quarterback draft.
Yeah.
Looking at it from the outside, looking in now, that outside of Trevor Lawrence, and I know Justin Fields hasn't had the greatest options in Chicago, but talent-wise, that it was not looking to be a very great draft. And even if you look at the top 10, Patrick Surtain could have went higher. Jalen Waddle probably. What if the Niners picked up Jalen Waddle at 3?
Oh, man.
They probably don't get. Well, no, they still had Ayuk. They still had Debo. They could have done different things. Every team could have done different things, but I wonder how the quarterback knowledge now would have affected that draft in particular. Because I know we always talk about the COVID draft. Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa. If they swap places, would things be different? That's just one small sample. We should
totally do a what if episode.
I should.
I feel I could really analyze I feel like we could really analyze this 2021 NFL draft, even if it's just the first round, for a long time, knowing what we know now. Especially now, would the Jets maybe would have taken some more O-line?
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
We'd have to go back and look at a lot of that draft to really try and figure that out.
I feel that could be a postseason type of.
I'm loving that idea. I'm loving that idea. But hey, let's go ahead and move on. But before we do, again, congratulations, Dominic, on your third week in a row going 9-4.
Hey, like Kobe and the Lakers. 1, 2, 3 Pete.
Taking home those champagne problems once again. Again, he is 121-72 on the season. Brandon holding strong there in second place, not too far off. I mean, he could take it any week, going forward, but he's there at 120-73, and I pretty much got no chance of doing anything this season. I might just have to start doing some stupid shit. But again, I'm down there at 108-85.
There is still time. There is still time for that perfect week.
I ain't saying that I mean, I'm going perfect this week, but it still wouldn't help me. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our recap of the Jets and Falcons game. I mean, there's really not much to say on this, and we're not going to bore you guys with the same BS that we keep saying every week. I mean, again, crappy on third down, couldn't score, couldn't barely move the ball, penalties, drops. I mean, poor quarterback play, inept coaching, lack of game plan. I mean, like I said, it's the rinse and repeat freaking bull crap, same crap every week. I'm going to kick it over to you guys. We'll kick it off with Brandon. Whatever you guys want to say, about this or don't want to say, it's up to you guys.
Want me to go down or you want to
go? I'll go first because I know Brandon will have a lot to say or, to the best of his abilities. This is my take on it. Again, as always, from an outsider perspective. As I told Randy and I told Brandon as well in our little group chat, this should have been a very winnable game. Atlanta has done nothing special this year to be 6-6 and leading the NFC South. Mm-hmm. Desmond Ridder is boring at quarterback. Bijan Robinson is their offense. Mm-hmm. Kyle Pitts has done nothing over there. He should be looking for another place of employment. Drake London's their best wide receiver. And their defense, okay, I'll give their defense credit. Their defense is actually pretty good. But when they're averaging like 13 to 17 points a week and they're winning games, watch them be the lone playoff team that's under 500 record. So right off the bat, a winnable game. Great. 2 for 5 on third down. Phenomenal. Rinse and repeat. They did out-yard the Falcons, 259-194. Okay, cool. You know me, I hate moral victories, but moral victory for all those moral victory Jet fans. Boyle.
I feel like another word, but whatever.
Yeah, Boyle was then benched for Simeon. So Randy got his dream of seeing Trevor Simeon, who was sacked more than Boyle.
Trevor Seaman and Tim Butthole.
Tim Butthole out. I'm going to give a positive here because I know you two as
you got a positive.
Xavier.
This ought to be good.
Xavier Gibson, 5 catches for 77 yards. Out-totaled every single receiver. He was fourth most in targets, but he caught 5 of 6.
That should not be the fucking case either, because you see how many times Garrett Wilson was open? He should have had at least $150 in yards and 3 tutties, man.
Garrett Wilson.
That pisses me off.
Garrett Wilson, third most targeted. Most targeted, Tyler Conklin out of 9. Breece Hall 8. Wilson 7. Gibson 6. But Gibson made the most. He only had 1 incompletion go his way. So I know he's low man on the totem pole for the Jets, but he's been getting more affiliated into the South. It's 5'9", 189 pounds, 22 years old. He could be. I'm not going to say he's the next Garrett Wilson on this team or Garrett Wilson's 1A, 1B. But is it a complimentary piece that Aaron Rodgers could use in the future?
I mean, he's an undrafted rookie. I mean, I get a lot of, and I'll probably catch some shit for that. I'm not saying that's what he's going to end up panning out to be, people.
No.
But I mean, to me, it's like a modern day kind of Wayne Corbett type deal. You know, that's the kind of vibes I get from old Gibson.
He had his most yards, most receptions, and most targets in the game against the Falcons, and his longest reception.
He had a really nice catch too, along the sideline. Real nice.
I like the way he adjusted himself. That was a thing of beauty.
So with Tim Butthole and Trevor Seaman,
there you go.
and you had a day like that, I'll give props. I will give props. You know me, I try to find the shimmering positive brightness in the dismal 4-8 Jets season, which I've told you guys probably at this point, looking back at the schedule, should be 8-4, maybe 7-5 with some winnable games. Patriots, Raiders, this game. Those three right then and there. You had a better quarterback, you probably get a better result at the end of the day. So, the rushing game is incoherent, non-existent. So, Gibson, congratulations. Good for you. Cheers.
I should have gave him player of the game. Damn it.
Brandon?
Yeah, so, I mean, you covered a lot of the statistic piece that I was going to. And that's cool, man. That means less I have to talk, and I can just talk about how I feel about what I saw.
That's why
this we give a lot of flack to Hackett, and it's a lot of it's due, right?
Yep.
Here's the reason why Hackett will be back. I know we talk about this. It's because there are receivers wide open.
Yep.
The quarterbacks can't get to him.
Yep. That's a good point.
Quarterbacks can't get to him.
That's a good point.
Garrett Wilson was running free practically the entire game. And the quarterbacks could not get the ball, or were too afraid to get the ball to him.
Yeah.
So
like that one safe throw that I think it was Tim that made it. I mean, you had Garrett Wilson wide open down there. I mean, he sees him too, but decides to take the safer throw. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's confidence, right? He doesn't think he can make that throw.
Yep.
And he had no business to being on an NFL roster.
Absolutely not.
That came to fruition today, and we'll talk about that later. But just looking at the same, another aspect, that we can appreciate is that Saleh, he is a defensive-minded coach. That defense plays for him every game.
Yep.
That's another reason why he's not going anywhere. And I don't think he's the fault. I don't think he's at blame. He obviously there wasn't some, there's something. He's not perfect, but I don't think he's the primary reason of our failure this season.
I agree.
But with this game, the defense played lights out once again. They gave up. We were getting hosed by the officials the entire first half.
Yeah.
The call play, the flags were just unreal. Questionable calls.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that, Randy. You watched that game, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first half, those calls were just insane.
It's happening around the league, but there's certain teams.
Like the lead with the helmet call? Like what the?
Yeah,
like he didn't even touch it with his helmet. Not even. Yeah.
So the refs practically gifted the Hawks. I mean the Falcons. 3 points and a touchdown because it put them in position.
And that touchdown from the Falcons was tiptoeing by Pruitt on the backside of the end zone. So, again, that touchdown turns into a field goal. It's a different scenario in this ball game.
Man. So
I'm not saying it flips it to the Jets, but
yeah. So it's the same. It's the same old thing. We get a positive play. It gets killed by either a turnover. Dalvin Cook, he was looking good. We stopped him. We're in great field position. He fumbles the ball. So it's been a comedy of errors for the Jets. Not much to say. Defense shows up.
Yep.
Offense does not. Special teams, fantastic. Thomas Morstead, beautiful punts. Put us in prime position for that safety. I
do like him though.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he has put us in prime position to score.
That's flipping the field, getting good opportunities. Again, we talk about how the Jets and the Niners have something relatable by beating the Eagles. We both had in my opinion, and this is not just because we're on a podcast together, I feel the Jets and the Niners have the two best punters, I should say, in the NFL. Hands down. Mitch Wisnowski and more, two of the top kickers. Look at the numbers, folks. Two of the top kickers that put it inside the 20, flip the field, and there's no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, we could argue he's been our most consistent and best player. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that our punter has been that, and he has.
He's been our MVP this
year. Yeah. So not much to unpack about this game. It's been the same old thing. Like I said, defense shows up as always, holds that team to 13 points, and we can't get past. We can't get past 10 points. So this is the most inept offense I've ever seen.
And I said if they at least got 14 points, it was over, and they barely got to 13.
Scoring double digits is hard for the Jets.
It is.
And the shocking thing is, you had the third least points this week. You weren't even at the bottom because of that dismal Chargers-Patriots game.
And you got Miami over there scoring 45, which is about our freaking 5-week total.
Yeah, but it's the same old thing though, man. Outside of the Bills game and the Miami game, if the Jets would have just scored one touchdown, we talked about this. If they would have just scored one touchdown in those previous games, the Patriot game, the Chargers game, the Raiders game, this game, they'd all be wins. Just one touchdown, because we all lost those games by a touchdown or less. We're actually less than a touchdown, and it's just unnerving. The fan base is. I thought last year was bad. This year, I mean, you got podcasters going off. Fans are fighting each other. It's just like
is it because there was so much optimism going into this year?
Well, it's because obviously that, right? And then 4 plays in, that happens. But the worst part about it, and we talked about this, I honestly put the blame on this season on Joe Douglas, because he did not do enough to put us in position to keep the seat warm for Aaron Rodgers, to keep us afloat for Aaron Rodgers. Look at what Minnesota did when he lost Kirk Cousins. Went out and got Josh Dobbs right away. If you were okay with Zach Wilson redshirting the year, then let him do that. Let him do that. Go get a serviceable veteran backup to keep us afloat until Aaron Rodgers can come back. Now Aaron Rodgers talking about, I was thinking about the 24th, but now, I'm good. He said that today. So he's basically, calling it a season. But all the what ifs, man, that this season could have been, because we didn't do enough to put our team in position to stay afloat. And I'll put that on Joe D. What do you, like, people are blaming Salah. I'm like, what do you expect Salah to do? What do you expect him to do? The defense is playing. This defense is doing their job. Special teams doing their job. He doesn't make the GM calls. He doesn't sign players. That is on Joe Douglas, and not putting enough pieces on the field for us to be successful, or at least be average. We're not even average.
I think, and I'm not saying nobody's wrong. I have a different take on that, maybe a different perspective.
Okay.
Granted, maybe, and this could fall in the same area what I'm about to say, but maybe Joe could have done a little better at getting maybe a better quarterback in there to maybe knock Zach into the third string position. But I think once the season started and everything was in place, and then and Rodgers went down, I think it was a Woody Johnson call. Because I think it was more like, we just put $40 million in the quarterback position plus, and then we brought in all these things for him. We're not spending anymore, and we're not giving up a bunch of draft capital to bring anybody in. Like, I really think that was Woody's call.
Okay, so here's the deal: if you look at what guys like Gardner Minshew is making, Josh Dobbs is making, is not much at all, man.
Right.
And you can't tell me that if we had one of those guys, we would not have 1 or 2 or 3 more wins.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yep.
So that is my point. Those guys aren't making buku million. Aaron Rodgers sacrificed $35 million to make the team better, so Joe Douglas could make the team better. And for what we understand, Woody Johnson was all in on this season, all in.
No, he was. That's why he's.
So that's why I don't know if I buy that he would be like, nah, go with Zach, blah blah. I don't know. I don't think so. Considering this was supposed to be an all-in season for us. Not to have a veteran backup is just criminal. Boyle, Simi, I mean those. Yeah. Again.
Well, I think when we let Mike White go as soon as the season ended, that's probably when we had the pick of the litter for backup quarterbacks, because we knew we were going to go into the next season. We were going to go after Aaron Rodgers, so we probably should have got a viable backup right there.
Yeah.
But I really think that, and like I said, I'm not saying nobody's wrong here, but I really feel that, like you said, you're not wrong as far as Woody being all in, but that was before the season kicked off. Like I said, he was all in. He put all the resources. We swapped. We gave up picks. We put damn near $40 million into the quarterback position, and then I just feel like he said, "Hey, man, we can't. Basically, I wouldn't say he said punt the season, because I don't think you just go to your guys and be like, all right, punt the motherfucker. But I think he was like, hey, we put all this, what we did into it. I don't want to strap the cap, and I also don't want to mortgage any more of the future, because I'm sure Woody and them were looking at those draft. We got 5 draft picks, dude.
I know, but think about what you're doing. They wouldn't have had to give a high draft pick for any of those quarterbacks. One, and think about how we are wasting talent. Mm-hmm. We are wasting Breece Hall. We are wasting Garrett Wilson. We are wasting a great championship caliber defense because our offense can't score. So if Woody's doing that, then he just said screw you to the fans and to anybody else.
That would be the first.
If that's the case, because that doesn't, and to the players.
Yeah.
None of that makes sense to me as to why you would waste all of this talent because of a cap situation when we are okay in the cap area. We're good. We've been good in that perspective, and none of those guys that I mentioned would have cost us a great deal of money or high draft picks.
To me, I think it's 2 things. The first thing, I'm going to bounce off what you said about wasting talent. It feels like wasting talent, and it is wasting talent. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, 100% that defense, yes. Here's the thing about those players. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, every team in football, doesn't matter if you're the Niners, the Jets, even worse, the Patriots, so on and so forth, you're going to have those ebbs and flows in a season or through a couple of seasons consecutively. The bigger thing for me, when you have opportunities like this, Aaron Rodgers, and then things hit the fan 4 plays in the year, and then you see the steady decline each week, and now people are getting internally pissed off, giving up, all that. It's not that you're wasting talent. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So when that happens, what happens next year, even when Aaron Rodgers is back and healthy, what if there's problems? Garrett Wilson isn't getting the touches he deserves. Or Breece Hall is not playing to the Breece Hall capabilities because there's an O-line problem. Or these what-ifs that come in, they're going to go up to coaching and say, we've been through this in 2023. We don't want this again. Now it's happening again. I'm out. You're gonna slowly bleed that player out, thin their back. So then the smallest of detail that doesn't go the right way in the Jets' way in the future on any given season would suck, but you don't want for that moment to be as detrimental. And 2, I think it's pride. I really think it's pride. And if it's Joe Douglas, if it's anybody else in the front office, who knows? I think when it comes to Zach Wilson and my entire quarterback situation, I think it was pride. We can't give up on this guy. We drafted him second overall. After drafting him second, if we bring in a Gardner Minshew, especially after Rodgers goes down,
Well, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that last point, without question.
Carson Wentz was the best available quarterback on the market post Aaron Rodgers injury that night against Buffalo. Out of any, Gardner Minshew was already taken. Carson Wentz was the guy. If not, Colt McCoy, at least he's a veteran presence. Those two guys were legit. And you went for Simeon instead. That told me the pride.
Minshew was taken, but he was available.
Mm-hmm.
But then Richardson got hurt.
Yeah. So he became relevant.
Not available anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's pride. Because if they, especially we talked about already, the New York market, the media, if they go out and go get a Carson Wentz, and Saleh went to the podium, probably the second week of the season, Zach Wilson had to start. No doubt about it. Because even if you brought a quarterback to learn the system in 2-3 days, and, good luck to that person. But going into week 3, you should have had Carson Wentz. And I think if Saleh went up there, Joe Douglas, and said, we have signed Carson Wentz to a 1-year deal to bridge the gap till Aaron Rodgers gets back, the first thing is, why not Zach Wilson? He was your guy. He was second overall. And then they're going to have to answer questions about that. Then it's going to go up to the new thing of, you wasted the number 2 pick. Let's revert. Let's go back to 2021 and the mistakes that have been made and the keys why Zach Wilson should have been gone a long time ago. I don't think they wanted that extra noise after Aaron Rodgers went down. So to me, they fell on the sword. They're dealing with it, and it's a pride situation.
Yeah, but if they already were, had already made it known that he was going to sit for the year, I'm not sure any of that matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they knew, we all know that Zach wasn't the guy. He's not ready, right? Mm-hmm. So they brought in Aaron Rodgers. So everyone knew, the media knew, everybody knew that he was going to be sitting this season because he's not ready. It's clear and evident he's not ready, right? And we didn't want to lose out on this window of this young talent that we have on their rookie deals, right? And this defense that has been playing lights out. We don't know what this defense is going to be next season. We hope it's going to be as good. We hope, right? But we don't know. But you want to capitalize on what you can capitalize at that time. Strike while the iron's hot. And they failed in that regard. They knew that Zach wasn't ready. Did he make some improvement in the offseason? Sure. But he was still going to be sitting that entire season. Yeah. So I'm not sure if any of that would have, if they would have brought in a veteran presence, I don't know if any of that would have mattered because they had already gone that route with Aaron Rodgers, and they were okay with letting him sit for a year. That's the most baffling thing for me is that you already brought in the veteran. You knew you were going to sit Zach. You knew he wasn't ready. So now all of a sudden he's ready to take the helm for the season. Yep. Like that just doesn't it just doesn't make sense. And when you had an opportunity to bring in somebody that can just, let us tread water for a while, average. The defense will keep us in games. Score 1 touchdown. Just one.
I mean, Dominic, he makes a good point, and I think in a sense that could be a reason why Mike White wasn't re-signed. Because if you would have re-signed Mike White, had Zach Wilson as second string, I think in training camp it would have been clear as day who was the actual backup quarterback. And I think Dominic's right. I think they fell on the sword on this one. It's a pride thing, which sucks because it wastes a whole freaking year, man.
For one thing, if you did not fall on the sword and you took it by the balls and you admitted your failure, you admitted you're wrong, and you had to do something to, as Brandon said,
like the 49ers did?
Keep treading water. Then do it. If it means you win, what do we always say? Winning cures all. Yep. Yes, every team has their inept moments every now and then, depending on the caliber of team that you are. Yep. But if you had a completely normal headstrong backup quarterback like a Carson Wentz, he could throw for 300 yards a game. Yeah, you might get 3 picks, but let's say you get 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 350 yards, and you win an ugly game 27-23. Is a win?
Take it every week.
Yeah. Just somebody that can run an offense. We don't know the full potential of this defense because they're always playing from behind.
Yeah.
And you don't know the full capabilities truly of this offense, because even with Aaron Rodgers, it's not like he went down game 4. It wasn't like he had an entire first half and then in the third quarter he went down. He went down literally 4 plays. And I think that 4th play he goes on the first 3 plays, what was it? Rush, and then he falls or something. Like, he didn't even make a completion to Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even know.
It was a run play. Then 2 pass plays, but the 2 pass plays, the offensive line broke down immediately.
Yeah.
Now, from what we saw in this Atlanta game from both our quarterbacks, Seaman and Butthole, I'm going to go ahead and say that. I don't know how you fellas feel, because I'm not going to speak for you guys, but, dude, after what I saw, I'm going to eat crow right here on the show and say that it's clear as day. While, granted, we give him crap on the show, he did take strides this year. It's clear as day Zach Wilson at least gives us a better shot at winning than those guys did. I mean, and Saleh was right. He said it week in, week out, and all the fans roasted him for him. But the dude literally, and I say that like an asshole, literally has a front row seat to that suck show of Seaman and Butthole every week, every day. And what I saw on Sunday, it's clear as day. Robert Saleh was right. While, yeah, Zach sucks, he's better than those two. Brandon, what do you think?
Best of the worst. I mean, splitting hairs, man. Like, at least Zach is mobile, right? That's one thing we can say. But they weren't even utilizing him in that way.
We've been saying open the playbook.
Yeah, we've been saying
they won't do it. They won't do it.
Zach can run, but they weren't even using that aspect of his game. So, yeah, is Zach more talented than those 2 guys? Absolutely. Those 2 guys don't even belong in the NFL, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But
sorry to interrupt. To further your point about the way they use these quarterbacks in this offense, like you said, Zach can roll out. He's got that ability, and it's a huge integral part of his game, and they don't utilize it. Yeah, you got Seaman and Butthole rolling out. Like, what are you doing? Those are more pocket passers. Like, keep them in the fucking pocket. Go be having the oh my God, I don't get it, dude.
We're literally in the delirious stage now. We are, as a Jets fan, you guys should be in the delirious stage right now.
Oh,
I'm in the stage where I'm just like, I've seen it all at this point.
Yeah.
We've seen it all at this point. I don't know how it can get worse than this. I guess you say, it can always get worse. I don't know how it can get worse than this. I just don't.
For me,
this is super rock bottom.
It can only go up from here, I think.
Yeah.
Like for me, as a team that's going to the postseason, and you guys are welcome.
Shut up.
You didn't have to throw that in there like that. That was a little smooth.
Hey,
the team that's going to the postseason, we just live in the postseason, and it's a great place to be, and
You're the champagne problems intro.
You're welcome to the bandwagon anytime. Honorary members with the no cost entrance.
Even my grandfather, the dead 49ers fans, throwing up and rolling in his grave.
As a team that just frequently is in the postseason,
you could be
as a member of the 6 Super Bowl club.
Hey, I feel this could be a perfect infomercial. If only you could have a quarterback, you could be here. Because we have receivers, you have receivers.
Shut up! I feel attacked.
I do too. I feel attacked.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute Dom for the rest of the show.
My question's gonna come off worse then. even though there is, come on, I saw a graphic online today of the Patriots' chances of getting into the playoffs at 7-10. They win out. Pretty much everybody above them has to lose 4 or 5. So they're better. The Jets are better than the Patriots record-wise and, to me, talent-wise, and they should beat New England moving forward in the last week of the season. To you guys, are we at the point where you already have the E next to the Jets' name for elimination? I know there's a mathematical path.
Yeah.
It's hard as hell because you're 3 games out of a playoff spot.
Bro, we can't score.
There it is.
I
I've been saying that all year. You can't.
I would love to play the mathematic game,
but
it's part of my job. It's part of my real life job. Statistics.
Mm-hmm.
However, we cannot score.
Get the defense.
I have never seen, bro. There have been seasons where the Jets have gone 4-12,
and they score.
At least they could score. They could score. They just weren't scoring enough.
Has the defense scored more than the offense?
It's possible. Our kickers probably score. Our kicker has scored more than our offense.
Oh, for sure.
Greg the Leg.
Zerline's got to be the leading.
He's got to be
scorer on this team right now.
Dom, I get your question, and I would love to be able to be but
it's not there.
We cannot score, so it's just hard to have any kind of semblance of positivity or hope when we can't score a touchdown.
You think
it's just sad.
You think at a certain point, but I know your O-line's decimated by injuries, and it's kind of a JV level O-line.
Well, they played pretty well on Sunday, though.
They weren't horrible. They were not horrible on Sunday. Yeah, they had breakdowns, and they were letting guys walk back there. A few of them. It
would have been hilarious if, with such the inept quarterback play that the Jets have this year, they rolled out like Navy or Army. All those college teams that literally run 55 out of 60 plays a game, and you just run the hell out of the ball, stack the box, and actually treat it like Army or Navy. And imagine if that worked, how would you score a touchdown that way? But the O-line has hit and miss all year long, and there's other things that are getting in that way. But it's like, wouldn't you throw noodles at the wall and see what sticks at that point? Roll out Zach Wilson, run the ball more than 50% of the game, something.
Yeah, I mean, it's in theory, yes. We are all, as Jet fans, at a loss for words as to that slop that we see or watch every Sunday. We have no idea what's going on.
This is the worst offense I've ever seen in 27.
Yeah, dude, it's the worst. It's the worst, man.
Do you guys? I mean,
we can move on.
Barring, Rodgers coming back, which I think he. I mean, I don't know for certain. I'm not going to say for certain, but he keeps talking about the 24th. But if he doesn't come back, do you guys see another win on the schedule? Because I don't.
If he doesn't come back, is there a win? The lone game right now, probably the Patriots game.
Oh, we could even beat him the first time.
Yeah, and they just shut down the Chargers.
And I think this one's in Foxborough too in January.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Texans.
I don't know.
We could be vying for the second overall pick again, man.
Because it's Texans, Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, at the Patriots.
And we can't score points.
We can't score.
No.
So, I mean...
It's Patriots or bust. That's scary. It's just... Move.
Let me pose this real quick before we move on to our predictions. This will end our recap right here.
Oh, one more thing, Randy.
Yep.
Patriots. I think the Patriots would win on purpose. Would let us win on purpose.
I absolutely think so too.
So that we can get out of a good draft pick.
Bill would probably start the whole practice squad that week.
Yeah, and we might still lose. They might score. They might score.
Damn. You're probably not even wrong, dude.
I'm not even being facetious.
I know.
I know,
Now-
Dom is. I'm just,
no, you're probably right. I'm not even gonna lie. That's why I think it's funny because it's like, again, for me as an outsider, we're in the delirious phase. It's like that's actually a truthful statement that Brandon put out there. Like that's legit. It could happen. That isn't. Oh no! It's like oh shit, man. That's woo.
Yep.
Ooh.
Now, I want to ask you guys. Say we end up losing out, and we end up with the second overall pick. Let's just say that's what happens.
oh man,
This is what I think, and I want to know what you guys think. But this is what I think because I am 100% in the crowd that says Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are not drafting a quarterback in this draft. Because I'll tell you right now, next year is either their last season, or it's a season where they're probably got a playoff mandate. They're gonna have to have a playoff mandate. Like Woody Johnson would be stupid to be like, "Oh yeah, you guys don't have to make the playoffs this year."
No.
But excuse me. So with me saying that they will not draft a quarterback because it would be stupid to draft a quarterback if you might not even be here in 25. So I think if I were them, I would take that second overall pick, flip it, get there and get somewhere in the middle of the first round, recoup some of the picks you lost this past summer, regain an extra first round pick in 25. And then you can get your first round O lineman, get your middle round O lineman for depth because I'm hoping they go free agency full O lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have unless you go the Mike Evans route, now you have an extra first rounder in 25 to do some kind of trade. You could even do a draft day trade with the Raiders, maybe do a sign and trade. Franchise tag Huff. Package him with a 25 first round pick and maybe get Devontae Adams and maybe a 4th or 5th round pick out of the Raiders. But I'll tell you right now, I just don't see these guys drafting their first round quarterback like everybody wants. Because, why would you hinge or why would you draft a quarterback when there's a good chance you may or may not make it out of next season with a job? What do you guys think? Brandon?
I don't think they trade out. I don't think they trade up. I think they will take the best player available. So if the Jets for some reason end up with the number 2 pick, because think about it like this: who would be right behind us? It would be who are QB needy teams? Patriots, right? Yeah. They would have to be behind us. The next other team that would need a quarterback would be the Saints. And right now they have the ninth position. I don't see them trading up because they paid all that money to Derek Carr. So then now what are we doing? The next QB needy team would be let me see, I'm looking at something here. It's a while. The Vikings at 21.
Ooh, that's a little high.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm thinking more mid-round.
Maybe the Rams at 17, looking for the next era.
Are there any quarterback needy teams within?
They got the Rams. They got the Rams going corner. They got the Rams going corner.
That too.
I've seen go corner at 17. I've also seen QB, but most of the things I've seen was them go corner. That guy Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama.
Look.
How he got that name Kool-Aid is hilarious to me, but but even the Rams, I don't know if it's worth. I don't know if the talent at 17 is worth us trading that far back. So if the Jets do end up with the number 2 overall pick, it would have to be a trade with the Patriots, and I don't think we're ever going to trade with the Patriots. No. Not this high up.
Not with Bill Belichick still there.
Yeah, maybe late rounds or whatever. So if if the Jets end up with the number 2 pick, I think they go the wide receiver from Marvin Harrison from Ohio State, or they go tackle the old boy from Penn State, Fashanu.
Okay.
Those are the 2 players that the Jets had.
I wouldn't be mad at any one of those picks.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. If they were to get the number 2 pick, I think they would go either one of those, because it fills a need. It fills a need.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of this would depend on what they do in the offseason.
Yes.
If there are any tackles available. But we gotta do something to make this next year or 2 worth something. We have to be all in.
Yep.
To your point,
got Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't know how much longer he's going to play.
Yep. So
we got to get as much talent as possible. Joe trading up to 20 or something like that for a middling player. I'm sorry, it's just not. I don't think it's going to do it. This is not this type of year to do that for the Jets.
It's time to sell the farm for a back-to-back Super Bowl run.
Yeah, man. I mean that's my opinion. Unless they, trade the number 1 pick for something. But I don't even think Devontae Adams is worth that high of a pick.
It depends what GM Aaron Rodgers says. How he feels going into next season. Trust me, he's gonna have a say in what's happening. He's not gonna just sit there on his couch and wait for the Jets to draft a wannabe Jordan Love, and he's like, well, what? No.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in that war room, prep to draft night, and figuring out what is going to be the remedy for this Jets team, organization, so on and so forth.
Yeah, man. So, I could very much see, that's why, to your point, Randy, I just don't, I don't know, man. I don't see them trading back like that, because somebody would have to want a quarterback, either Caleb Williams or Drake May, to trade up. I don't see, you see anybody trading up? You guys see anybody wanting to trade up to 2 or 3 for a wide receiver or a tackle? I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's got to be the next Jerry Rice or
Harrison Jr. is pretty damn good.
It's got to be someone of that caliber. It depends. I think it just depends where the chips fall at the end of the day, because there's a lot of teams with those 3 wins, 4 wins, and how it falters down. Like, either way, Carolina's going to be the worst team. Chicago's getting the number 1 pick overall. That's pretty much set in stone unless Carolina has a magical run that gets them 3 wins and the Jets beat the Patriots.
Man, Carolina's got to be feeling like idiots. Like,
that's a whole nother show.
I know we feel bad as Jet fans, but they gotta feel like idiots, man.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for Frank Wright. I mean, because I don't know how true what I saw or what I read or what I heard, however I received the information about the fact that he originally wanted C.J. Stroud and was overruled by the owner and the GM.
And he's the man that gets fired first. 11 games into the year.
He probably walked into the GM office. See, I told you. He probably told him that. He was like, you know what? Pack your bags.
Yeah. Hey, and all the media. And you know what the shit thing is about it all? The media is like, it'll be a long day, cold day in hell before Frank Wright coaches in the NFL again. I'm like, you want to run that by me again? What the hell?
He'll get an offensive coordinator job. His head coaching days probably a little numbered, but
he's got to re-earn
he's a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah. You got to re-earn your.
I gotta tell you, man, I would love Marvin. I mean, if we know anything about Ohio State, they put out wide receivers.
Oh yeah,
they do.
Yep.
Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. I mean, they put out receivers, man. So I would not be mad. I know we need offensive line, right? I get it, but we also need wide receiver too.
Absolutely.
That's
I think those are equal because Lazard ain't it. He's a third receiver. He's not a number 2.
Nope.
He's barely a third.
He's barely a third.
Gibson is a third.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Damn. All right, so that's going to do it for the recap part of the show. Again, the Jets fall to the Falcons 13-8. Falcons advance to 6-6. The Jets fall to 4-8. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our predictions this week. starting off with Thursday night, December 7th, the day after my birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday to you.
It's my birthday month.
There we go.
Little inside joke if Todd's watching. He's probably laughing his ass off. All right. Thursday night, we have the New England Patriots at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is favored by 6.5. This one's tough because it sounds like Kenny Pickett's going to be out for a couple of weeks with that ankle.
It's going to be Trubisky and probably Zappy.
Oh my gosh. Yuck fest. Yuck fest.
Did you hear the comments Najee Harris said about Trubisky
Pro Bowl
today?
vibes. What's that?
Did you hear the comments Najee Harris made about Trubisky today after practice?
No.
Reporters were like, what does he bring to the table coming in for the next couple of weeks? He was like, veteranship, I guess. And then they're like, well, what do you mean specifically? He's like, he's vocal, I guess. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, that sounds brutal. And in my head, I'm like, so do I not start Najee Harris this week?
That is brutal.
Oh, boy.
I don't know who to pick in this one.
He's already been a fringe start anyway.
Oh, from the Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, Najee Harris.
Najee, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump off the ledge first because that's what America's going to be doing when we get to this game on Thursday. Our sanity will just be gone by 5:20, and more so by the game kicks off at 5:15. By 5:20, we're all going to be in the center of an abyss. Out of the words of Brandon, Pittsburgh finds a way to win. They do it again on Thursday. No rationale why, but it's Pittsburgh being Pittsburgh. Steelers win.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I want to pick the Steelers.
But you're like, it's Bill Belichick in primetime.
Yeah. And Bailey Zappi's the quarterback, you said?
Yeah. There's a lot of
who's the backup quarterback in Pittsburgh?
Oh, after Trubisky?
Oh, wait, that's right. We were just talking about him.
Yeah.
Where are they in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah, give me Pittsburgh. I'm going Pittsburgh too. Let's go ahead and pick the Steelers, Randy.
All right, go for the clean sweep.
You know what? The way their defense has been playing.
Oh, no.
I think they're going to squeak one out with a field goal at the end. Give me the Patriots on prime time, baby, to go. Yeah, give me the Patriots, baby.
All right, Brandon, we're going to extend our lead in the standings.
It's going to be 17-16 Patriots.
God help us.
I mean, trust me.
I told you I'm gonna do stupid shit because I have no chance of catching up. So it's just time.
You know
to
what? You know what this game's gonna remind us all of? Remember the Broncos and Colts Thursday night from last year, where it was like 12-9.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this officially. Just doing a quick gander right now. This officially is the WTF game of the week. All right. So I got the Patriots. You fellas got the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Moving on to the Sunday's action. All right. We have a little NFC South. A little NFC South action. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is favored by 2.5.
My Falcons.
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll with the Falcons. I just think they're on a roll right now. You know, first place. They're feeling themselves. Give me the Falcons in a close one. 21-20 Falcons.
But it's like they have nobody good on offense. Like, at least Tampa's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Like, they got... And
they can run the ball, though.
You know, Ricard White, who can run the ball and catch the ball. My Falcons, I'm going Tampa. So, which means Atlanta's going to win.
Sweet.
I already know that's going to
I'm already undefeated.
Tampa's on the road, right?
Tampa's on the road.
Yep, it's in the ATL.
Give me Tampa too.
All right.
The defense.
I say that because Atlanta's not good, man. I mean, they're okay. I mean, but we can't let what they did to the Jets confuse us a bit to think that their defense is lights out. They're not.
Like if you look back at their regular season, they squeaked a win against the Packers by 1 in week 2, which the Packers know they should have had that one back. They beat the Texans by 2. If they replayed the Texans today, Houston would beat them. So there's 2 games. They should be 4-8 like the Jets. And they beat Tampa Bay 16-13 in Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago, and it was on a 51-yard game winner by Young Hoku.
Man,
so it was
I think I nailed this game then. Eakin won out 21-20.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield was 275 yards passing with the tutty. Mike Evans 6 for 82 with the touchdown. Bijan Robinson wasn't even a factor in this game. Tampa Bay ain't going to lose 2 in a row to Atlanta, so still give me Tampa.
All right. So moving on, we got the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. A little NFC North action. Detroit's favored by 4.5. Really?
I know one thing. Detroit better stop playing down to their opponents.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a problem
because
that means the Niners just go up one more time in the standings. But
I mean, they almost lost to the Bears the first time. Luckily, they came back.
That's right. Yep.
That was Justin Fields' return from his injury.
Yep. And this one's in Chicago. Oh, man.
Detroit, a dome team playing outdoors. It's supposed to be 39 degrees. No snow yet in Chicago. To me, there's more weapons on the Lions.
And it's going to be cold.
Yeah, there's more weapons on the Lions. I think 4 points is fair. I think the Bears can make it an interesting game if Fields is having a good day. Yeah, Detroit, keep them steady, get them to double-digit win category.
Yeah, I think the Bears will make it interesting. But yeah, give me Detroit. Just because it's a divisional game and they made it interesting last time. But yeah, give me Detroit.
I mean, yeah, you know me. I've been on this Detroit bandwagon all year. I mean, it's a good football team. Yeah. So go ahead and give me Chicago in this one because I think we're due for an upset game of the week, baby. I'm being serious. Give me Chicago.
You're not even trying to win anymore. You're
barely. Just like, I'm telling you, I'm going undefeated. You watch.
If all of these upset picks that he's making, like if he gets like 2 out of like 8, more power to you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Chicago played them tough the first time. They're at home this time.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to come down to a last-second field goal. You know, Bears win 24-21.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys got the Detroit line. I'm taking the Bears. Moving on. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the Cincinnati Bengals. Indianapolis is favored by 2.5.
This could be your sneaky game of the week. I talked about it last week with Denver and Houston. Cincinnati had no business probably winning last night's game against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Until Browning decided to be prime Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence got stepped on. And McManus missing a field goal. But Cincinnati still's got weapons. If Browning plays like he did on Monday, they should beat the Colts. And the Colts are a damn good team at 7-5 competing. But Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they're in, Cincinnati's got Joe Mixon who's running the ball well. If Browning plays like he can, they win. Their defense is still pretty good. Colts defense has been playing really good lately as well. Numerous sacks, returning plays for touchdowns. This is a neck-and-neck game.
Another game of the backups.
Is it Minshew or Browning? And based on the Colts struggling a little bit against Tennessee, I'll give the edge to Cincinnati. I'm going to pick Bengals at home in the jungle, and they'll be 7-6. The Colts will be 7-6. It makes that bottom portion of the AFC a little more convoluted, and I know we'll get to it a little farther down the line with some other games.
Yep.
Yeah. Give me Cincinnati too in this one, for all the same reason Dom just said.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor's still out again another game this week, so one less element to their offensive puzzle.
Yep.
For
So
all the same reasons.
we're all taking the Bengals on this one.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on, we have the
Battle of the backups.
yeah again. Jacksonville at Cleveland. Jacksonville's favored by 3.5 points. I mean, Trevor Lawrence playing this week? Do we know for sure yet?
Not yet.
We don't know yet.
It's confirmed.
This might be a game where
It's confirmed a high ankle sprain.
and Christian Kirk is out too.
Yeah, he put a core muscle in his groin. He's going to be out for 8 weeks. So the new pecking order is Ridley, Zay Jones, and then this rookie named Washington. Playing the odds. Let's all play the odds for a minute that Trevor Lawrence is out for this conversation. Beathard against Flacco.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I would trust. And Beathard was a Niner at one point, and he won us some games. Not great. We never made it to the playoffs, but still. I oddly trust Flacco more. And but the Browns' defense lately over the last couple of weeks has not been the Browns' defense from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Cleveland's at home. If I'll say this, Trevor Lawrence does not play, I'm taking Cleveland. Trevor Lawrence plays, even if he's got a bum ankle, I'd probably go like 51% Jacksonville in that case. But going with the odds that Beathard is the starter, give me the Browns.
Yeah, I think for that exact reason, Joe Flacco versus Beathard is just enough for me to pick Cleveland. Just enough.
Are they in Jacksonville?
Cleveland.
They're in the dog pound.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Man, Flacco scored through 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Poor Brandon.
Flacco scored 2 touchdowns. I'm like, what?
We got to redo that video of when the head coach playoffs. You got to change it to touchdowns. Touchdowns. We don't need no damn touchdowns.
Yeah, we definitely
that's
do
the
that
Jets thing. They don't. Yeah.
Jeez, man. We have until what day to change our pick?
Saturday.
All right, give me Cleveland now, I guess.
But you could also say on the show right now, and if I'll save us some time. If Trevor Lawrence ends up playing, we're all taking Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But if not, we all go with Cleveland.
Let's roll the dice.
We'll do that. Fair enough. Case closed, settled. All right, moving on. We have a little NFC South action going on here. We have the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans favored by 6.5 points. I mean, yeah, Carolina sucks. Saints all the way.
Jameis Winston, QB1.
They could have Zach Wilson play for him that week, and I still pick the Saints.
Yeah, I think
what about Boyd?
Butthole.
What about Boyd?
That's tough.
Nah.
Maybe if you got him on the rollout.
Yeah, I think it's Saints all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's not going. Yeah, it's again Jameis Winston. I don't know if it's going to be easy, but
I mean, I guess I could if I wanted to really shake things up, pick Carolina.
In the Superdome? Okay.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna have to drug test here.
All right. Moving on. Now I'm gonna save my pick here because I'm gonna make my pick tomorrow night on the preview show. So I'll let you guys pick this one. We have the Houston Texans at Brandon and I's beloved New York Jets. Houston's favored by 4.5 in this one.
Houston.
Come on. Okay,
Houston.
want to talk about it a little bit?
Houston potentially with this win, if the Colts lose and Jacksonville without Trevor Lawrence loses, are in first place. I don't know the tiebreaker between Jacksonville and Houston because I know Houston beat them once, but I don't know the tiebreakers in that case. But they'd be in a 3-way tie for first.
I know I know our defense will show up, and I know our defense will do enough to hold Houston to under 20 points. I think we'll do that.
Yeah,
we can't score, so all Houston has to do is score 10 points.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's fair assessment.
10 points, and they win. So
Yep. Go for it. See what happens.
All right. So moving on, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's favored by a touchdown and a half. 7.5 points.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
I'll take Ravens as well, but Rams are making a comeback, oddly, 6-6. They've looked better.
Yeah.
They win. Niners beat Seattle. Rams are in second and in the postseason race. So, but I think Baltimore's still one of the top teams in the AFC. They have their issues, but they're still a top team. Baltimore.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one, too. So, clean sweep of the Ravens.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We're going into the afternoon portion of the NFL slate here. We have the Minnesota Vikings at the Las Vegas Raiders. Minnie is favored by 1.5 points. This was a little tough. I mean, Raiders have been playing pretty decent lately. Josh Dobbs is coming off one of his worst performances.
He's still going to be the starter. I know everything that Vikings are saying. They're like, oh, we're going to evaluate during the bye week. It's Josh Dobbs.
One game. I mean, he's been playing pretty good for him.
And
they're in Minnesota?
No, I think
in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Raiders in this one.
I'm going to look here because Justin Jefferson, the goal was to get him back after the bye week. And I think if you get Justin Jefferson in a situation where he's back, he's healthy, and it's another piece of the puzzle for Minnesota, you got to give Minnesota the upper hand in that situation. And based on this, Jefferson, according to the injury report, they reinstated him from the injured reserve on Tuesday, and he's designated to return this week. So, against my better judgment, I'm going to roll with the Vikings and say Josh Dobbs recovers. I'm going to go Minnesota.
Oh, man, this one's a little tough. I want to pick the Vikings, but the Raiders at home, Vikings traveling, Dobbs coming off his worst performance as a Viking. Players coming off injuries don't always tend to travel well, especially when you got to travel 2,200 miles, 44 round trip. Fuck me, give me the Raiders.
Oh, I'm on the outside looking in now. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody listen to me breaking that down. You're a dumbass. All right, so Brandon and myself with the Raiders. Dominic lonely there in the corner with the Minnesota Vikings. Give Josh Dobbs a hug for me.
I will.
All right, moving on. Game of the week for Mr. Lorenz. Little NFC West actions. We got the Seattle Sea Chickens at the San Francisco Gold Miners, the 49ers. Wow. I'm not going to lie. For a divisional game, this is a little disrespectful. We got the 49ers favored by 10.5 points.
Not when you blow out the Eagles by 23 points. At home. At the link.
And
regardless
Dominic with the cockiness now.
Regardless if a non-coach security guard comes on the field and starts pushing players where he has no access.
Now how did you guys fare against Seattle the first time?
Give me a ball break, guys. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Well, no, for me, Seattle, Thanksgiving night, it was glorious. 31-13.
31-13, okay.
It was a glorious night. I think it's,
well,
you got to stay humble.
Yeah,
we enjoyed victory Monday. We record this on Tuesday. I joke about what happened in Philly and how we blew them out, but that game's in the past.
Yeah.
And the Niners have to worry about the Seattle Seahawks now. Divisional games are not easy.
Right.
We embarrass them on prime time at their house. They're going to have a little chip on their shoulder. DK Metcalf was embarrassed by Charvarius Ward. Geno Smith was not himself. And they have an issue at running back right now. Kenneth Walker is not healthy. Charbonnet went down with an injury against Dallas. I don't know what their running back situation looks like. I'm not saying their running backs are, amazing where it's like that controls their game.
Mm-hmm.
But the Niners have to, per usual, step on the throat. Don't let them come up for air. And do what you do best. Run your offense with MV Purdy, CMC, and the whole crew. So for me, Niners win this game in their return to Levi, and they continue bird hunting in game 3 of a 5-game stretch where they play nearly all the bird teams in the NFL. So go Niners. Because the Jets fans here, they listen to my 49er rant in the Around the League show. They already know what's coming. So yeah, I don't predict, me, I'm not a huge score predictor just because I don't want to offset and jinx but I think the Niners just stick to the basics, do the right things the right way, and keep doing your business. Pack your bags and keep doing your business.
Now, I understand this is a home game for the 49ers, and I'm going to pick the 49ers here solely based on it being a home, but I think this is going to be a lot closer than the Thanksgiving Day game. I mean, granted, you had both teams coming off short weeks. Seattle hasn't been playing their best ball as of late, but with a full week of rest this time around, I think Seattle will show a little bit more improvement, be a little bit better, but I don't think it'll be enough to beat the 49ers. So give me San Fran, as Dominic says, faithful to the Bay. Give me the 49ers in somewhere along the lines of 27-20.
You're not going to give my boy MV Purdy at least 30?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I give you boy enough love. Come on now.
I thought we were staying humble, Dom.
No, hey, you know me. Wins are wins at the end of the day. I don't.
You know what? That's all right. I would be humble too if my team was looking like that.
While you were gone, all I said while you were gone was, it's got to be business as usual. Do the right things right, and good things will come. Stay healthy, and this team is the best in the NFL. So just clock in 9 to 5.
It's a clean sweep.
All right, clean sweep of the 49ers. All right, moving on. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is favored by 3.5. Yeah.
At Arrowhead?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes and company, they've been playing their best ball as of late.
They haven't.
But
neither has Buffalo.
No, and they're injured too. I mean,
is Von Miller playing?
No, Von Miller got arrested.
I know he got busted, and
we may not see him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would say
he got bigger issues.
Yeah, that's probably going to overtake the rest of his year. And I don't think Buffalo wants that distraction. They got enough.
Screw it. Josh Allen. Give me Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Spicy.
Damn, now.
Spicy.
Josh Allen played big ball when it came to the Eagles, and they had a couple calls not go their way and a missed route by Gabe Davis on the overtime throw. They play that same caliber game against this Chiefs team right now. This Chiefs team is beatable.
I just don't know if the Chiefs lose 2 in a row. Or is it 3 in a row?
3. That'd be 3, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them lose 3 in a row at home against a Buffalo team that is above average.
Yeah.
Give me the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs just for that point. I mean,
I think
it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm hoping
I said it
snow.
before. That I would never. I thought I would never.
Can we get our first snow game? Come on, man! I need a snow game. I love snow games, man.
Yeah, I don't see Kansas City losing 3-4 games in a row. Like, no way. No way. That just
that would be 3 in a row.
No way Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are gonna let that happen. So yeah, give me.
Oh, you gonna get Dom? You gonna give us a Taylor Swift update? Is she gonna be at the game or?
I said last week she was going to be at Lambeau, and some people are like, no. She was. She doesn't. I'm not saying I follow because by no means do I listen to her music. But the streets are talking on Twitter, on X. She doesn't return to her tour till after the first of the year. Book it. She's at every single Chiefs game from now until potentially the last game of the year, where the Chiefs are at SoFi taking on the Chargers. Please, of course, she would go to the stadium she performed 6 sold-out shows at. So I'm going to guess Taylor Swift's at every game. She's sitting with Mahomes' wife. She'll be there. Still, I said last week, Kelsey was going to ball out. She was there. Wrong. She's going to turn her eye to Josh Allen.
Oh,
wait, no, Josh Allen's dating somebody else. So no, maybe she'll turn to somebody else. But still.
Is that an extra prediction?
Mr. Steal Your Girl, Josh Allen.
Damn.
No, but yeah. But I did appreciate the NBC Sunday Night Football. Only showed her once during pregame, once during the game, and that was it. I can deal with that.
Luckies. All right, so Brandon and myself with the Chiefs, and Dominic sitting by himself with the Buffalo Bills. All right, moving on. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Little AFC West action. Chargers are favored by 3.5. Really?
They're at Denver?
No, they're in LA.
So far.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Denver.
Tough game. That's a tough game to pick.
They let me down last week, but I think Denver gets back to winning. Chargers, I mean, they couldn't even score points against. I mean, granted, Patriots defense is pretty good, but they barely beat the Patriots.
Denver has something to play for.
Couldn't score points.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I asked Brandon earlier about the mathematical Jets equation. The Chargers, same thing. Mathematically, at 5-7, you could, if you win out, you have a better shot. But
I'm sticking with Denver in this one. I think it's a bounce back week for them.
I think so too. I think the Chargers just after Keenan Allen, they have no answer right now. No Mike Williams, no Palmer. Austin Eckler.
Overrated Herbert.
Austin Eckler looks absolutely abysmal right now.
But
disgusting. But Khalil Mack though leads the league in sacks. Good for them. But Denver.
Yeah, I'm going Denver too.
Yeah. All right, clean sweep of the Broncos. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football. A little NFC East action. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is favored by 2.5. Wow.
One of the better games of the week.
Absolutely, for sure. Man, I mean, Philadelphia just got smacked by San Francisco.
Give me the Eagles. Go in, snap Dallas's home winning streak. I know Dak Prescott's been playing good this year. I'm not going to use the word great because I feel everybody's being extremely generous to put him in the MVP conversation. I feel that's very generous.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb should get more consideration than Dak Prescott. Sorry.
I think I'm going to ride. Oh, go ahead.
Dallas's defense has been very good, but then look at last week against a mediocre Seahawks team. They looked abysmal. Eagles aren't going to lose 2 in a row. I really don't think so. Yes, they barely beat Dallas at home. I can't say Cowboys. Sorry, Eagles.
I think I'm going to ride the petty train this week, and I tried picking Philadelphia last week, and they let me down big time, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think Philadelphia is slightly reeling right now. I think that punch in the mouth by San Francisco is going to kind of affect them this week. So give me the Cowboys to win this game 24-17.
It's a good game.
And I think Dak Prescott goes off for like 400 yards.
Oh, God. Oh, Vomit City.
So you're telling me if I got you a Dak Prescott jersey, you wouldn't wear it?
You know what's wearing it? The toilet paper roll.
Ooh, shots fired here on the One Jets pod.
Dallas got beat pretty good the first time, right?
It was 28-24.
Yeah,
it was a close game.
And that one was in Philadelphia. This one's in Dallas.
Oh, man.
Either way,
Which is another reason why I'm picking the Cowboys home.
Either way, a yucky fan base is getting a dub.
Tell us how you really feel, Dom.
I want to see the. I don't know if Dallas shows up in big games.
That tends to be the knock on them.
They're like the Dolphins. They're a team that beats on the weaker, crumbles under the better.
Give me the Eagles.
All right, so Dominic and Brandon going with the Eagles. I'll be the lone star here picking the Cowboys. See what I did there? All right, I just noticed this is, what are we like in freaking weeks 1 through 3 right now?
Yeah.
Doubleheader on Monday night.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. I just noticed that too. So we got the
Basically
Tennessee
2-0
Titans.
games.
Yeah. Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. Well, I'm picking the Dolphins, obviously. I mean, Tennessee's not beating Miami, especially on the road.
Give me Green Bay and give me Miami.
Yeah. And I'll take Green Bay because Green Bay's playing some pretty damn good ball right now. Jordan Love's showing up in games. So.
Yeah.
Same on both.
All right, so clean sweep with the Dolphins and clean sweep with the Packers.
And my question, as I'm going to ask the rest of the season of the two of you, not the Eagles and Cowboys game.
Before you ask that, can I get points from you guys real quick?
Oh, points on which game?
Let's go with the. You know what? Let's go with the Dolphins and the Titans. I'm going to go with 40 points, and I'm talking because the Dolphins are going to blow the doors off and beat them 40-0.
Yeah, I'm going 48 points.
Let's go with 50.
Ooh. Dolphins going to beat them 50-0? Is that what you're saying?
37-13.
All right. All right, Dominic, floor is yours, brother. What's up?
As I asked a couple weeks ago and last week, what game out of the 3 primetimes, probably not the Eagles-Cowboys, because that's actually a quality matchup.
Yeah.
And we saw this week Eagles-Seahawks getting flexed into Monday night in a couple weeks instead of Chiefs and Patriots. What game from the Sunday slate would you slip into a Monday night game, which is a better matchup?
I'd probably
this week?
I'd probably put Buffalo and Kansas City into one of those Monday night slots.
Yeah, that game. I would even venture to put the Seattle-San Fran game.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, divisional game. Seattle's still very much in the playoff race in the NFC.
Yeah. I'd keep the Packers-Giants game in just because the Packers are playing well, and the Giants, oddly enough, have won a couple games in a row. Tennessee, I get it. Miami's there because Tyreek Hill and the whole crew, they want to give them love.
Right.
Colts-Bengals would be interesting too, am I right? Like, I know it's a battle of the backups, but they're oddly 2 very intriguing matchups with AFC playoff implications.
Yeah.
So
no. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the Chiefs Bills, but I'm gonna agree with Brandon and say the other Monday night game would a good one would be San Francisco and Seattle.
Thank you. And I didn't even force you guys to say that. I forced nothing in that point. Thank you.
So, all right, so that's gonna do it for our predictions. Again, as I bring up the numbers here. I'm going a little slow here. All right. Dominic ends last week going 9-4, just like Brandon as well went 9-4. Dominic on the season, 121 wins to 72 losses. Brandon, 120 wins to 73 losses. And of course, there I am down there in the buttholes, the Tim buttholes, at 108 wins and 85 losses. I went 8-5 for this week. So again, congratulations, Dominic, on your big win. Third
Thank
straight
you.
win.
Hey.
And that's going to do it for us here on the One Jets pod. Again, thanks for checking us out. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to smash that bell notification so you're updated every time we drop some content here. Also, if you're listening on the audio side of things, thanks for listening all the way to the end. Make sure to follow us and give us a 5-star rating. And until then, we'll see you down the road. Go Jets.
Welcome to Jet Life Stadium. Hit it!